was stated in the previous show on News Nation by one of the, I think, FBI law enforcement personnel. This isn't like any case I've ever seen, and I've been tracking cases now for 20 plus years. My 2 years in Iraq, 04 to 06, but I've almost got a PhD in this, and I've never come across this case with, the demands sent to TMZ, to local news media. They need to go directly to the family. They're asking for millions of dollars on Bitcoin, which will be untraceable if the money's sent. And they're not acting in good faith.
Welcome in, guys.
This group is.
We got some updates here. Good afternoon, French fry. Good afternoon, Kyrie. Big updates here. If you've been following the Nancy Guthrie's, this is local 520 time. Breaking news here. Ozzy Crosby. Breaking news. You could see they're on the house. They're the roof. Is she in the house? Is they ransom? What is going on? But this is breaking on almost every news outlet right now.
Was found on the front stoop. She was hurt at some point.
I'll bring everybody up to date real quick, and we're going to listen in. Another message was sent to TMZ. Good evening. And the message from Harvey from TMZ, and they're doing a good job. I criticized them last night, but they're doing a pretty good job. They said, and they're very careful on what they can say, is the person or persons, plural, who send the new message to TMZ is somebody who knows how to spell perfect, like a professor, a school teacher, somebody very, very, very smart and good with words. Now, there's another text message coming through. Let me repeat, guys. I'm reading all this and trying to recognize who's in. Hello, Crystal. Bear with me, everybody, for 1 second. I'm reading some clips here. And I tell you what, we're going to put the volume up, and then I was going to bring everybody up to date. This is breaking. Now, a text message just came into one of the relatives' phone. I'm not sure if it was the son or the daughter. And the message that they got is not from, allegedly. I got to be very careful on my words on this scene. And from the same person. Now they're saying the deadline is at 5 o'clock. But folks, this is twisted. Right now they're on the roof. They are back to Nancy Guthrie's house. They're on the roof.
There's no guarantee that
they're on the roof. Thank you, Ozzy. Thank you, Janine. Thank you guys for being here. Let's listen in.
And if they do, there's no guarantee that that they're going to make a deal to bring
Happy Friday
mother safely. So very challenging.
It is a heartbreaking.
Here we go. Look at this.
Position for this.
They're on the roof
tonight,
folks. They're on the roof. FBI detectives are on the roof of this. Nancy Guthrie and of the house here. And what are they looking for here? Look at this. They're on the roof. So I'm hearing, guys, I know I'm like back and forth and stuttering a little bit, but I'm trying to read some stuff here. Reports I'm getting from Fox News is that the text message, it's saying something about the house. Something led them back to the house. They've been on this house or in this house now for the last hour or less. This is crazy, folks. I don't remember a bizarre story like this. And, of course, the daughter, she was supposed to be, at the Olympics and everything. Very deep religious people here. I want to give you my quick opinion, and we're going to listen in. I promise. I'm wondering, is it all about money, or is it something very personal? I just want to throw that out there. It's just my thought. Is this something that is personal? Something that they have against his family? Or no, Sal, it's all about money. Let's see what's going on here. Look at this.
Dan O'Shea, I appreciate you coming on. I'm sure we'll have you back.
So FBI's investigating new Nancy. Okay, here it is here. New message. So they're investigating a new message now. I don't know if it's the message I just said, a text message. I'm assuming it's that text message that they're saying it's unrelated from the ransom note that was given to Harvey from TMC.
As this story develops. Thank you.
Thank you.
Coming up, we'll have much more on our breaking news. We'll also have more on what's happening in the Middle East. Iran.
Folks, this is crazy. This is
they have a propensity to violence. There's no guarantee. You know, I'm just saying it's a very tough decision. I can't imagine what the Guthries are going through at this stage, but you cannot pay something without a proof of life. And this clock is ticking.
It is so
odd.
Mini-Me.
But they have to stay strong because, you know, and there's no guarantee that these. I'm
going to be going back and forth, guys. So just bear with me here. I just want to welcome.
There's no guarantee that, you know, that they're going to make a deal to bring home her mother safely. So
I'm going to move along to different feeds, different news outlets. Sit back. Hey, thank you for joining here. Thank you, moderators.
Against administration officials and against our brave men and women of law enforcement. The men and women of ICE have faced an 8,000% increase in death threats.
Now, Nancy Grace,
illegal
a very smart woman, former prosecutor, I believe, had said something very interesting, and we're going to talk about it in a minute. Nancy Grace. I'll tell you what she said.
And also my friend, Bill Krackenberger, professional sports bettor, sports analyst. Great to have you on, Bill. And yeah.
So Nancy Grace said that
I'm an assistant principal at an intermediate school and a former softball and basketball coach.
Yeah, Nancy, sorry guys, I'm trying to get different feeds. Nancy Grace says, interesting thing was, I quote unquote, she said, she felt very confident that, in her words, we're going to rule out the family, the immediate family, because why would they be, this is from Nancy Grace, not me, sitting there, even though we cover this, you probably watch in other YouTube channels, whatnot. If somebody was holding the Nancy Guthrie, the family would not be there, right? Even if the family had something to do with it. I mean, I guess you could say, yes, they would. It'd be pretty hard to sit there with the family. Let's just say that the son, the daughter, to sit next to each other. That was an excellent point that's sticking in my head here. So I would say you can almost rule out the immediate family. It doesn't mean it can be like a distant relative or something. I'm going to go back and forth. We're going to go back to News Nation. News Nation's doing an incredible job. Shout out to News Nation here. Not that we're competing, but we're going to go back to News Nation as soon as they come on. This is wild, guys. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you for being here. Crazy story. I mean, a lot of reporters are in Tucson, Arizona. There's even reporters in Las Vegas, California, because remember, they're checking the neighbor states. This happened in Tucson, Arizona. They're checking Utah. They're checking Las Vegas, Nevada. They're checking California. You know, they for something they feel, I don't know what's in the letter. And we don't know. They're not going to tell us everything. They're giving us some clues that I guess the FBI wants to give us. But they assume that she's very close. What is this here? Hold on one second. Hold on one second. What do we got here? Oh, never mind. Okay. We got a couple of things going on tonight, guys. The sources tell me with Iran right now, or you got a nuclear, something's happening in Iran. I wanted to cover that, but I feel that this was very important. This is a crazy situation with this elderly 84-year-old lady. It really is. I want to see what we got here. Let's see here. 1 second here. 1 second. See what we can got here. What do we have here? Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Guthrie's plea last night, which is we need to hear from him. Now, what the Guthrie family was asking is, talk to us directly. Let's not go through another media cutout. But apparently they're going back through the station that they sent one of the first ransom demand too. The question is, and I don't know the answer to this, does this communication have a pathway to communicating with the family directly? Or is it just, I'm going to stick with this communication and reiterate my demand?
And she described it not as a ransom note.
Is that
this
better,
time, right,
Summer?
Molly, as in not necessarily changing the terms. Interesting something John just said though, that this sender is choosing to go through a local television station. This is a person who is obviously highly sophisticated with technology, using secure servers, untraceable Bitcoin, all of this. And yet they're going through something that's existed since the 1950s, a local television station. Okay, that juxtaposition might be really important.
Yes, it can be very important. That person might have had good connections with that station in the past, maybe even had worked there, knows the nomenclature, knows everything that takes place there. And when you talk about saying the sensitivity, the second part, not asking for a ransom, I think what comes out of that is her mother's condition, her health condition, getting certain answers. How is mom? Mom is this, et cetera, et cetera. So they're trying to make her feel comfortable. But on another point of view, what's very interesting is that the letter is now a negotiating point for the negotiator. He can negotiate with the letter to Savannah or whoever's going to talk.
Casey, what does it say to you that the person who sent the first note said, first deadline has passed, second deadline Monday, with an awful consequence, and that give us the money and there will be no more communication? And yet the family's asked for communication.
Let me just say this, guys, real quick. I'm going to be showing different news outlets, okay? I don't care if it's CNN. I don't care if it's Fox. I'm going to break in who's ever got the latest updates. So let's get that covered. Once again, thank you, moderators, for being here. Appreciate you guys being here. This is not politics, folks. Now, if the person or people, plural, have Nancy Guthrie. Welcome in, guys. Come on in. Come on in. There's no way, shape, and form, if they turn over the millions of dollars, that they're going to get back this beautiful woman. You know that. I know that. The rest of the world knows that. There's going to be a 1% chance. Okay? I don't care if it's a distant relative, a family member, a crazy cousin, quote, or anybody else. The person will not be back. Now, I don't know if they would, hurt her or for YouTube. I got to be very careful with my words on this topic, guys. Unalive. But there's no way they're going to get the money. Say, oh, okay, thank you very much. Time out. Here's your grandmom back. Here's your mom back. We're off to Australia. We're off to Mexico. We're off to Italy. No. Now, this deadline, again, if this ransom note is even true, TMZ, I believe them. They would not ever lie and hurt the credibility. We know it's true. They got the letter. 2 ransom notes. First ransom note, the second ransom note. The only little bit I know is because Harvey was on Fox and he said the person who wrote this letter knew how to spell perfectly. It was not an AI. This note was planned it was like a professor, a teacher, somebody who just can spell perfectly. The sentence, the commas, the periods, stuff like that. And it also said, this will be, thank you, Mike, the last note you will receive. Now, the VPN and IP address, I don't know a whole lot. I do know IP address work on different outlets. Like people have multiple IP address, okay? Because I'm getting at, why come they can't just track down the IP address or the VPN? Well, they're having a hard time, and it's not as easy. Now, I'm sure you have the FBI, but people can have multiple. And the car that they had the license plate, it probably wasn't the correct license plates. They wouldn't be that stupid, right, with that letter they got. But they do know the make and model and year. So that's good. But it's so bizarre. Let's listen in a little bit more, and then we're going to flip around. Thank you for being here, guys.
And the sender has provided additional communication, assuming that this letter is real. We are making that assumption based on all the information that we have. I don't know that it is. But if it is, what does it say to you that the sender is now suddenly going against what they originally said?
The only legitimate reason I can think that they would have sent this additional communication is to convey proof of life and something, probably information that only Nancy could know, that they're going to pass along. Because again, there's no video, there's no photographs, but inside information that only Nancy could know may be in there. Again, the indication is it's extremely specific. If there is nothing like that in there, then the police may go in a different direction and start to wonder whether or not this is a hoax. They know they're not going to get any money, any Bitcoin, until they prove that Nancy is alive. So I have to believe that that is what the nature of this communication is. But if they did not offer any proof of life, you have to wonder why are they playing a cat and mouse game? Because really nothing about this case is consistent with what we basically think about for ransom kidnappings. So many things just don't fit the mold. I think the FBI, the police, the families still have to consider that Nancy is missing and that whoever is sending these messages could be unrelated to that abduction. There are too many moving parts going on in real time today, but we have to consider that if they're not negotiating, if they're just informing, that maybe they don't have anything to negotiate with.
Wally, what do you think of that? And I will say this, the image is on our screen right now. That is the roof of Nancy Guthrie's house.
Now, this is the roof, guys.
So that's obviously that large structure in the.
This is the roof. They've been on this roof now for about an hour, about 20, 30 minutes before we came on. That's the pool. And they've been on this roof looking, and pretty much there's something that led the FBI back to Nancy's house.
Adjacent structure. You see people on the roof, and we know that after the letter was received, Harvey Levin was saying it appears clear the two are connected. I don't know if they are, but it's certainly
why would they be on the roof?
That is when.
Why would they be on the roof?
The police presence to go back to the house because of something.
I don't know. Very good question, Janine. I mean, it's very odd to me, Adrian, that they're on the roof. I don't. Maybe there's a clue in that second letter that most of us don't know. CNN, Fox, any of the major news outlets. The only person that might know would be Harvey. Harvey from TMZ. He might know. There must be something in that letter stating go back to the house, right? Go back. There must be something in the letter, guys. Go back to the house. Go to higher elevation. Go to the, something. Or maybe it has nothing to do with the roof. But I'm just assuming something that worded, maybe it was spelled upstairs. Maybe something in the letter says upstairs is where we want the money, right? I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there, guys. Entertainment. Something upstairs. That's what we want, upstairs. So now, let's take it serious. Let's go to the house. Did we go upstairs yet? Oh, no. We forgot to go upstairs. Let's go up there. Let's go to the roof. Let's go to the roof. And that's the only thing I'm guessing here. What's your thoughts?
Second letter to verify or check, but we can see them there on the roof. What do you think?
Why not check the basement? I don't know if they even have a basement. You're right.
Looking.
Well, here's something. You have over 100 investigators hitting the street, boots on the ground, and every single one of them has to write a report to the.
Welcome in, Ozzy. Welcome in, John. Welcome in, everybody.
Direction to go, and they might have some sort of information that there was something regarding the roof, and also
I just said that.
Expand these the crime scene. You can never tell. Maybe as they left the place, someone threw something, the camera or whatever, threw it and went over the roof or something. They have information of that respect.
Maybe.
I think you also got to go back to what Casey said, which is first of all, they can't be myopic here. They're going to focus on this ransom letter, and they're going to pull that thread as far as it goes. But they're not going to stop everything else. So you've got the neighborhood association back out searching. You've got the FBI back at the scene. You've got them checking the house to make sure that while they're focused on that letter, they're doing all those other things. Because if the letter isn't from the kidnappers, and
Right, what if it's all, yeah,
and she's somewhere in the area of that house, it can't be because they stopped doing everything because of this letter.
right. All right, thank you all very much.
Crazy
And next
story,
breaking
guys.
News, President Trump just speaking.
Crazy stuff
And he is
here.
addressing the racist video.
I
that
can't
he
remember.
posted
The
about
only
the
thing I can
Obamas. It was
remember like
posted,
this
on his Truth Social account. Hear his response.
was Elizabeth Smart. Do you remember her out of she was abducted? She was from a Mormon family. Elizabeth Smart. I mean, there was no ransom, but it kind of reminds me of a little bit. She was found alive, by the way. She was found alive. So I believe this lady could be found alive too. There's still no body, folks. Still no body. And
start producing content that people will actually pay for. And that's the angle. Here to react, Lisa Booth, Fox News contributor. Lisa, it's great to see you tonight.
all right. We're going to get back to Nancy in a second. But real quick, guys, I want to just turn topics for a second. We will be covering this ongoing with Nancy Guthrie's house and monitoring what happened. It could be tonight, maybe, that they somehow a miracle can happen. But on other news, real quick, I want to just say this. Hillary Clinton has been on the news in the spotlight. And, whoa, time out. And Hillary is pissed. And so is Bill. However, it's one of those rare situations that President Trump is, I don't think he's taking sides with Hillary, but he's pretty much saying, hey, leave former President Bill Clinton alone, referring to the Epstein file. So while we wait, he's pretty much saying, enough is enough. I know Bill. Leave him alone. You know, he doesn't care for Hillary, but, you know, she is married to Bill. So regarding the Epstein file, I just wanted to put that out there. That was in today's news. I'm just telling you what I hear, what I'm hearing on that. So President Trump has made it this is the second time now he's come out and said, you know, first time he said Bill's a big man, he can handle himself. Now he's like, leave Bill Clinton out of it. It's almost like he knows, even if he was at Epstein's island 27 times, there's no further proof. So I'm just putting it out there, guys. All right, I'm not, you know.
That we're making all along is that they're hopelessly biased and not really reporting the news at all. Fake news. But I do think
No, I had no meeting today, Adrian. No meeting. Did help out. Helped out Sherry and a couple other homeless people. No meeting today. Getting ready for the big game, the Super Bowl. Trying to see. Fox is going to have a. I thought we were going to have some kind of a press conference here. So let's just see here, guys.
And I'll look for some of the key players more towards game time. Probably taking like the Walkers under. I know his number is like.
Hold on one second. Just checking a couple of news outlets here.
Irresistibly touchable. Get in touch. Gold bond.
Still dealing with moderate.
Once again, speaking of President Trump says pretty much anything you need to the family members of Nancy Guthrie, anything you need, you know, just holler. So he's President Trump is heavily into this missing person regarding this 84-year-old lady. So, all right, let's see here. We got here. Yeah, we're on a little commercial break with Fox. I was hoping they would cover a press conference or something coming up. But it's crazy that this has been how many days now? So 6 full days, 6 days. Who would take an 84-year-old woman? You know, could it be a distant relative? Nancy Grace said on her show, she finds it hard to believe it would be the immediate family because they sat there together and read that ransom note. First of all, wouldn't they be with the grandmom or the mother? And second of all, how could they possibly, if they did this and had so much hate, to sit down next to each other, but she didn't rule out the distant relatives. Meeting a cousin or somebody like that. But it's still bizarre that there's no leads. Like, only leads we have is this second letter that continues to go to TMZ. It just goes to TMZ for whatever reason. And Harvey was on CNN and Fox, and he had to be very careful. Imagine him. I mean, think about this, folks. He's got to be very careful for a number of reasons. Well, number one is him. Because if he comes out and gives his opinion, I mean, who knows? They put a hit on him. We don't know. Number two, thank you, Cindy. Number two, if he says the wrong words on national TVs and gets exposed, he can mess everything up, and it would ruin his credibility. I mean, right? But I don't think we know much on that second letter. The only thing Harvey gave some hints are this would be the last letter. This would be the last ransom letter. That's it. Now, in between all that, last night, this morning, a text message hit the daughter's phone. Forget her name already. But she got the text message, or one of the children got it, and it just said it was nothing. It had nothing to do with the ransom note. According to the FBI, they said it's two separate ones. This was more of a Bitcoin, and they're trying to track it. They did track it. Excuse me. They tracked the text message and the ransom note, and the authorities say nope, not related. However, that person has been, I believe, been identified and I think arrested, but not arrested for the kidnapping, but arrested for what would you call it? Impersonating a crime, I guess. I don't know what would you call it, but so you got to be very careful. So when you got some people out there going to take advantage and try to squeeze in on it. See, that's the problem you have with all this. You have these crazy people from other countries as well, right? Trying to make like it's them, and they'll hand over millions of dollars just like that. So that's something that they're going to keep an eye on. But I believe the person got arrested. I believe. All right, let me get into some messages here. Yeah, I'm just waiting for another update. So I got all the networks on, all the local national news networks on. It's a big story developing here. Still 5 days and this woman's out there. Is she getting her medication? How's her pacemaker? Are they giving her food? Are they making her feel relaxed? Because I'm sure she's very nervous. The only person who would know who knows who this is Nancy herself, trying to make her relax and feeling that she'll be okay. Or maybe they're just putting pressure on her and trying to squeeze this elderly lady out, like basically saying, I don't know if they would have her. I don't know about these burning phones. Does anybody know about these phones that they're called burning phones or burnt phones or whatever? Not sure on how they would handle a phone call. I'm just wondering if it would go to a phone call. But then again, they said in the letter that would be the last communication. That letter to TMZ was going to be it. All right, here we go. What do we got here? All right, here we go. We're back.
FBI agents spotted searching an area behind Nancy Guthrie's home in Tucson, Arizona, shortly after law enforcement confirmed the presence of a new message. It is still unclear at this hour what the agents were looking for and whether that search was actually prompted by the new message. According to a social media post from the Pima County Sheriff's Department, investigators are inspecting the latest message for information confirming its authenticity.
What is that?
Nancy Guthrie, the 84-year-old mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie, went missing last weekend. Authorities believe she was abducted from her home in Arizona. The FBI tonight is offering a $50,000 reward for any information leading to the recovery of Nancy Guthrie. Obviously, we'll continue to watch that story and monitor all the news right here on Fox News. In the meantime, I'm Kevin Gordon live in Washington. Now back to more of the Ingram Angle.
Crazy stuff, folks.
It is Friday, and that means means it's time for Friday.
Crazy stuff, folks.
Fox News contributor.
So that's what we know right now.
Raymond Arroyo. Oh boy, Raymond. President Trump spoke at the National Prayer Breakfast the other day.
Where did her money come from?
Laura, it was prayers with a side of scrambled humor, Trump style. The last time I came, I was.
You know, who knows? Speaking of money, Ozzy, you know, there could be very well. I know it's always about money, but again, I just want to throw this out there. Could it just be there's a lot of hate on this family because you know they did some work for NBC? You know, it's just some crazy person out there, you know, who can write perfect English. And as you heard, I don't know if you heard it, but Harvey from TMC says, whoever wrote this letter, it was just like perfect. It was just well done, like an English teacher, somebody very educated, is smart, but then also could be crazy at the same time, right? But, you know, I just want to say maybe it has nothing to do with money at all. You know, they're making it look like money, you know, to have some kind of revenge on the family. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? The only person who knows exactly what's in that letter, that second letter, is Harvey from TMZ. Maybe the one other person, and then the FBI. That's it. They're not going to let that letter out. And all we know that's in that second letter is this is it. If we don't have the money by 5 o'clock, it's done. You're not going to get this woman back. So.
I loved it when he said, "Well, I got it at 4 in the morning." Isn't that wonderful? He always does this side.
I'm going to flip around a little bit here to different news outlets, see if they got anything. I was curious about the roof, you know, and they broke away from that. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Uh-oh.
Here, just based on the information.
Yeah, we're going to go back to News Nation, excuse me.
And you know what, that's, I don't have that big a problem with it. There's a fog of war element to, you know, you got.
Is that right, Crystal? I did not hear that at all. Wow.
Even though it's his command staff.
Read Crystal's message if you get a chance, guys.
Where you
read that message.
That info, and it goes up the chain of command, and then you got somebody standing in front of microphones, and before you know it, that's proven to be untrue. The timeline has changed multiple times. One of the things that really concerns me, Elizabeth, is if you look at, and assuming the information is correct, between the time that the camera was disabled, this Nest camera, and the time that her pacemakers stopped communicating with her Apple Watch, it was 41 minutes. And
hold on, guys. I'm having a little problems here today.
It's 31 minutes.
I thought it was, okay, so, all right, 31.
Hold on one second, guys.
And you got whoever this person.
They got this new
inside your house.
Something they changed on the live, and I got to get used to, and I'm just not able to get used to it here. So
I guarantee that's not where the only blood was. We obviously haven't seen the inside. We shouldn't have seen the inside by now because we got to let the FBI do their thing. They are the best in the world at this sort of thing.
So there's the blood again. That's outside.
That's not good. Another thing is they can't tell if that's from a living human being or a dead one. It's not arterial spurting, which is good. You can tell that. These are droplets. There's an entire forensic discipline, Elizabeth, on interpreting blood drops, as you know. But this is, look, you start out with the population of the Earth and you narrow it down, right? Like that's one way of looking at it. Another way that you can work these cases in law enforcement is you start with the closest ring and you work your way out. You eliminate every single person that's close to her and you keep broadening it. You know, is it a family member? Is it a neighbor? Is it the Uber driver? And you systematically eliminate everybody and hope somewhere you get it. I don't know, when you move a human being, especially a live one, or a dead body, you exponentially increase the chances that you're going to get caught. That's one of the things that's really disturbing here too. But look, we are so many days into this. Apparently, if the information is correct, again, we don't know. that she needed medication every 24 hours, and that could be fatal. But I think one of the really important things here, Elizabeth, that we all keep in mind, I'm reminded by the
Looks like they're off the roof, right? They're off the roof.
Professors at the university was responsible for this.
I don't see them on the roof anymore.
That innocent people's lives aren't negatively affected by speculation.
Oh, absolutely.
Online sleuthing.
Right.
Yeah, they're off the roof, folks.
Listen, I don't know. It's sort of like pick which scenario is worse, and I can't even pick it. I just, my heart goes out to the Guthrie family. It's inconceivable that
Piedmont County,
dealing
Arizona.
with this, any family is dealing with this. Anytime you're being given demands to pay.
Well, they're off the roof.
When a loved one is involved.
This is still live. This is local time here, 5:54.
Matt Murphy.
This is live.
Always great to talk to you. This is the one time when I'm going to tell you I hope you're wrong. I hope she's still alive.
Me too. I really hope I am. Thank you, Elizabeth.
All right, coming up for us, Chris Cuomo joins me live. He'll weigh in on this whole search and all the other today's news. It's been a busy news day for a Friday.
Man, there's a lot of law enforcement there, guys. Did you see that?
News Nation tonight.
Lots of law enforcement. You know, they're taking whatever's going on here on the second note that said to go back to this 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie's home in Tucson, Arizona. Local time's about almost 6 o'clock now. Still daylight. A lot of authorities are there. It looked like to me real quickly there was a few FBI, local police, detectives on the roof. They weren't on the roof. They were on the roof earlier. They are ripping that home apart, literally checking all angles. So I would say I have a funny feeling that we're going to probably get a big lead this evening. I really believe we're going to get some kind of more information. I mean, it's almost like a movie, a bad movie, right? A very bad movie. It's like, are they going to find a piece of plastic with a wood or something carved in, go to the next room, or drive 20 miles to this place? You know, are they going to try to mix up the authorities? I mean, doesn't it seem like one of those weird Prime movies, Netflix movies? I mean, it's crazy, or maybe they're just up there because they missed something or they feel it's important. But I have a feeling, because why weren't they on the roof yesterday? It's been 5 days. Why today? Why this Friday? Why are they still there? Why all the authorities there? So, for me, I would say I'm very confident. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. That letter is bringing them back to the house, and certainly in the backyard, the roof, the pool, and all the rooms in the house. Something must have led them there that they read in that note, or a clue from somebody who's an expert at this, somebody who just studies ransom notes. That's certainly not the first ransom note, right? Somebody who just sits by, and that job is to read ransom notes and go over that note back and forth, sideways, up and down, and say, whoa, 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 go back to the house. Maybe. That would be great. It would be great to find. I would love to hear that this lady is found and doing well, and they get the bad guys. And yeah, something from Colombo. You're showing your age. Yeah, something from Colombo. Exactly. Colombo with the pipe. Yeah. So, all right, I'm gonna get into some messages here, guys. We're gonna continue to cover. I have another. I'm gonna bring everybody up to date on something that's going on later on in the world of politics. We're gonna cover later on. I just wanted to bring this on. I mean, I thought they were gonna show a little bit more coverage of what's going on. I guess that's all they can show right now. See what we got here before we sign off. Hey, shout out to News Nation. News Nation is doing a pretty damn good job exposing this, as you know, getting a camera and boots on ground. News Nation doing a great job.
Tolerance. This, my friends, is about erasure. And at its core, it's blatantly racist.
I don't understand why Fox and CNN aren't exposing this a little bit more, but it's what it is. All right, let's see what we got here.
Neck and shoulders. Kohler is an expert in bathing, so you can count on a deep soaking experience.
Are you seeing this?
The Kohler walk-in bath comes with fully adjustable hydrotherapy jets.
We'll see, guys. Once again, we'll see. We'll see if this woman is found. I mean, our deepest prayers. You know, you'll imagine this real quick before we sign off. An 84-year-old going to church, living the rest of her years, worked hard, and she is taken from her house. You know, probably got slapped around a little bit, nosebleeds. Hold on.
Chris, what do you make of these?
Let's hear what Chris Como has to say.
Oh, you get your glasses on? I'll put mine on too. Oh, you took yours off? Okay, I'm taking mine off.
I think that, the vexing question here is, are these notes legit?
Yeah.
The timing of when we learned about the Apple phone and
Apple
the
Watch.
other descriptors, Apple
Yeah.
Watch. Does this new letter, the reporting is that a journalist saw it and says it contains sensitive information. Does that give more confidence that this person has to know something? But there is a little bit of a twist on that that I don't know the answer to, and we'll see if we get it, which is, who would send notes to local media outlets? Probably someone from the area.
Right.
Right. I don't know. I don't know the local outlets.
I just interviewed the news director of that station, who said that this new note that came in today.
God bless London. How are you from London, Samuel? Thank you for being here, my friend.
But these tip lines and
Virgil, welcome in.
the TMZ guy too. They offer.
Khan, thank you for being here.
You can send something, a message.
Leon, thanks for being here. Mitch, welcome in.
So it's an unusual, like I would think if I needed to get in touch with you, I would text you or email you, and that's all I can think of, or call you.
They want to encourage people to divulge.
Yeah.
So they don't want them to feel that there are strings. But again, who goes to a local station's tip line? Probably someone
in the area,
unless they're really savvy and trying to play. So we'll see. Anyway, appreciate your coverage. We'll continue it now. Chris Cuomo here. Welcome to News Nation. We do have new developments in the Nancy Guthrie abduction
We'll listen to a
case,
little bit of Chris Cuomo,
case.
and
Just
then we'll
hours
sign
ago,
off.
A second message regarding the alleged abduction, the assumed abduction of the 84-year-old mom of the Today Show anchor, sent to the same local station that received a note a few days ago. Notice, this one's not being called a ransom note like the one TMZ received a few days ago. Why? I don't know. We'll discuss with TMZ's founder, Harvey Levin. He'll be up shortly. I wonder if authorities suspect that someone from the local environment, the local community, is in play here, given the repeated connection to media outlets that are familiar only to locals. The news of the note coincided with a lot of renewed activity outside the missing mom's home. News Nation's senior national correspondent Brian Enton is there. Brian, what's your best sense about why the return to this house, which they had again unsealed as a crime scene, only to once again make it one?
Yeah, the timing is...
Brian, as far as I know, only to two.
Around the same time that the FBI announced that this new note existed, we were outside the house as we have been, and all of a sudden, Sheriff's Department showed up, said, everybody's got to go. You've got to move at least a block away. We're closing off the entire area. Luckily, we had our drone up so you can see a little bit of what's going on, but we're now a block away. I saw FBI teams going in, the tinted windows. I tried to look in and I could see the FBI logo on the shirt. There were evidence trucks going in, and they've been going in the house, we could see on the drone, but then also they were behind the house, and it almost looked like they had neighbors out there with them, pointing out things to them out in the backyard behind the house, Chris.
Somebody may have used landmarks in the letter. Again, it's the same vexing question, though. Are these letters red herrings, or is this somebody who's actually involved? I mean, that's the thing we still don't know. Brian, I appreciate you. Same rules apply. You learn something, get in my ear, and I'll come right to you. I do want to bring in TMZ founder Harvey Levin. Earlier in the week,
let's hear Harvey, guys.
TMZ received an alleged ransom note for the return of Nancy Guthrie. The note claimed to have Nancy asked for millions in Bitcoin, gave 2 deadlines. Unusual, not unheard of. One yesterday, another for Monday. Are there similarities to this new note? A journalist who looked at it said it was well constructed, which was language that Harvey had used in describing the note that they got. Harvey, thank you for joining us here. What is your sense, gut, on whether or not these notes are likely connected to someone who's actually involved, as opposed to
hey, Chris, how are you, Chris G?
Looking for attention?
Yeah, he does look tired.
Increasingly believing that these notes are tied to whoever may have taken Nancy. And I say that because in the first note, they mention an Apple Watch. Well, it wouldn't be hard to guess that you had an Apple Watch because there were photographs of her with Savannah. But it says where the Apple Watch was located. And it was not in a place that you would necessarily immediately think. And that seemed to pique the FBI's interest. The second thing is that it said that the floodlight in the backyard was destroyed. Now, Chris, there is a difference between observing a damaged floodlight and calling it a destroyed floodlight. That word destroyed, to me, and again, I'm taking a leap here, I realize that. But when you say it's destroyed, that may be something you did. If it's damaged,
I hope she's found too.
You call it damage. But if there's a light that's illuminating and you don't want to be seen, you kick it, you disable it, and maybe you destroy it. So that kind of, I found that kind of interesting. And it sounds like these two notes are connected. I heard a KLD reporter talking about it, and the construction of the two letters are similar, she says. And I can tell you the structure of the one that I've seen, it is well written. The grammar is perfect. It is structured and layered. And she said she saw the same thing here. And it has the markings that these are written by one and the same.
Sending something to TMZ, I get. Sending something to KOLD is very specific. Harvey, does that pique your interest as it does mine?
Yeah, I heard what you were saying to Elizabeth, and I could not agree with you more. That this is somebody familiar with the Tucson area and is familiar with the local station. And I will go a step further. That they sent it to us, and we were more forthcoming than KOLD. They were playing it close to the vest, and we got the same letter 12 hours after KOLD did. So it was almost as if they wanted people to, some media outlet to talk about more than KOLD was.
Second message,
and
guys,
send it to
talking about.
us. So I don't know if we're going to get this other letter in another 12 hours from now. I don't know, but it feels to me like it's somebody connected to that area where KOLD broadcasts. And, I was thinking of this last night, that,
hello, Barbara.
This could be one of two things. It's either somebody watching television saying, oh, wow, there's Savannah Guthrie on the Today Show. She's rich and famous. Let's find a relative. Or it could be somebody who lives in that area and says, Nancy Guthrie, I know her daughter is really famous. It's Savannah, and she lives in the same area. And then they hatch a terrible plan. So it feels to me it's the latter. And the fact that they went back to KOLD, which has been covering this extensively, reinforces to me that this may be somebody still in that area. We've kind of figured out a radius, but it may be closer to Tucson than the outside radius that we found.
Yeah, you were reckoning that.
Interesting.
Because of the time factor that they used in terms of what they would need to get Nancy back home, it made you draw somewhat of a suggestion about where they could be. The only thing that bothers me about this in terms of the process is the authorities keep shutting down the crime scene of the house and then opening back up again. It's very unusual. Usually in situations like this, they establish a crime scene and it stays like that until it comes to its conclusion. Hopefully now that they went back to the house, hopefully what they were looking for to coordinate and correlate to whatever was suggested in the letter, hopefully it wasn't spoiled. Harvey, this is an unusual one, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean,
give me your take on that, and then go ahead.
It's interesting what you just said. I remember way back when I was covering O.J. Simpson that they had a crime scene. They took the tape down at a point a few days after, and then I remember getting a call saying they may have found the knife in the area, and all the tape went back up. And I remember going there, and there was a lot of activity. So I don't know what it is they're looking for right now, but it's clearly something that they feel is really important, and it's something that they didn't connect to the person who wrote this letter, and they are trying to connect that. So that doesn't shock me that they would reinstitute a crime scene if there's something that didn't seem important that suddenly seems very important.
Interesting.
Yeah, you know, people were asking, why isn't there a lot more camera from all the surrounding community? Well, one, we don't know that there isn't. And two, this is a different kind of neighborhood than where the Koberger crime, people keep mentioning that one to me in Idaho. And one of the big differences is that the houses are more elevated there on top of the streets in that surrounding area where Koberger did his wickedness. And there were street side cameras. There was more of a trafficked area than this one is. This is not a place where you're going to see cameras on telephone poles and stuff like that. Ring cameras. Home security,
but there weren't a lot of street lights either.
Right, you know, so you gotta play the ball where you find it. But look, hopefully this activity is suggestive of something real for investigators, because obviously nobody wants to see this go on any longer than it has to. But it's a weird one. It's a weird one, and not just because it involves a TV personality. Harvey, thank you very much. Appreciate the access and the opportunity.
You bet.
All right, take care. So just before the show, President Trump actually weighed in on this case. He was on Air Force One, and it was very, let you play it, and then you tell me what you think of it.
And I think we're doing very well on that regard. You're probably surprised to hear that. I think we're doing very well. Very well, meaning we have some clues, I think, that are very strong, and I think we could have some answers coming up fairly soon.
Is this a nationwide search? Is this a search going to Mexico?
I'm talking about a search. I'm talking about a solution. We have some things I think that will maybe come out reasonably soon from DOJ or FBI or whoever that could be could be definitive. A lot's taken place in the last couple of hours.
I don't get it. I don't get the salute. Let me bring in former FBI Special Agent Jennifer Coffindaffer. Look,
you see President Trump's weighing in on it.
Video aside, which I'll deal with.
It's a huge case. I'm reading some of the comments. Why is it so important? This, that, whatever. You know, that's up to you guys to decide. I will say this. Where I disagree with Harvey and Chris Como is this. Just my view, and I could be way off. The reason they're going back and forth into the house, why they closed the crime scene and then reopen it is because, like I said 20 minutes ago, ready? There's something in that note that the FBI feels strongly. There's experts who read that letter sideways, frontward, back, over and over. They're just the smartest of the smartest. Their job is to read ransom notes, to read notes in general, right? Emails. That's their job. And something in there, in that letter, 1 word, 2 words, 3 words. I'm saying this, no other news. So I'm saying my personal view. That's leading them back to the home, and we've seen the a while ago on the roof. There's something there that I don't know what it is. I'd be guessing, but there's something that is leading them back to that house on this very moment in Tucson, Arizona. There's something that they gotten on that second ransom note. There's no other choice. It could be that they missed something, but it's 5 days. CS, I mean, the police department, FBI, there's 100 detectives on this case. That's what I'm assuming. I'm assuming that, and I think Harvey is just being very careful on that. Now, I heard it was people were calling TMZ out. I think it's unfair. I'm not a big fan of TMZ at all. I probably watched the show maybe a total of 20 minutes the whole time it's been on, but they had great ratings. But aside from that, when they say he's lying, Harvey, no. Why would he lie and risk his future and his life? No, he actually got those ransom notes. Those ransom notes were sent. Why TMZ? Not Fox, not saying. Who knows? Only the person who wrote it knows. 2 ransom notes, and there's a deadline, and the family's worried. There's tensions are high. There's stress. $50,000 reward. So a lot is going on. When you have the President of the United States involved, he cares. And we'll have to see on how this ends up. I have a great feeling, though, that this outcome is going to be good. I really do. I think the person is not as smart as led to be. Okay? And I only my thoughts. I still believe it's somebody very close to the family. Okay? I'm going to be very careful on what I say, but somebody very close to the family. Okay? And normally when these things happen like this and they go on a little longer. Now, Elizabeth Smart in Utah, the Mormon child, they made a movie on it. Do you guys remember that? She was abducted in Utah through the bedroom window, and she's alive. And I guess she's doing well. So there has been cases, and that wasn't a family member. It was correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody's listening to me out there, Elizabeth Smart wasn't like a handyman or something. It refreshed my memory, a handyman or somebody like that. But for me, a lot of these cases, abductions, are normally somebody that's very close to the family. So, a homeless guy. That's right, David. Thank you. It was a homeless guy. Thank you very much. It was a homeless guy in that area. I appreciate you. Yes, it was a homeless guy in that neck of the woods. And she was found, and later on they made a movie on, and a lot of people had her written off, and she was found. So there is miracles. But again, this is an elderly lady who's on medications for her heart, a pacemaker. So, and see, here's why I believe she's alive. And here's why I believe it's somebody close. It's somebody who knows that she knows. Maybe Nancy Guthrie doesn't like this relative. Maybe she hasn't seen this relative, but she's somewhat relaxed. They're good with words. Hey, we're going to get your medication. By the way, I said this last night. How are they getting her medication? What drugstore? I mean, are they just walking? Are they hiring somebody to go to CVS or Walgreens or the local pharmacy? Or does she have enough medication for a few more days? They don't need to go to the drugstore. But I think she's alive. There's no body, and there wasn't much blood, just what we've seen recently. Barbara, is her medication missed? No, I'm sorry if I mixed you up, Barbara. I'm saying, well, what they're saying is they were mentioning about her medication, that she needs her medication. But I would assume that she probably I'm saying they probably got her. I would assume they got her medication. If they really want a ransom and they want money from this Nancy Gulch, I'm sure they would have got whatever was on her desk or on her counter where a lot of people keep their medication. I'm sure they got that. They made sure her pacemaker wasn't, disturbed, the Bluetooth, the whole 9 yards. Because if it's all about money, and it sounds like it's money or there's hate, one or the other, then they don't want this lady. They want this lady alive, Do you think they will pay the ransom? No. I don't think they will. I don't think they will. But I can be wrong. You ask, I'm telling. No. I think what's going to happen is if indeed it's a family member or somebody very close to the family, very close, if guys, we don't know. I'm saying it. I don't think they want that on their hands. I think they're just gonna let her off somewhere and take off. Now if it's somebody possibly really wants the money, it's not a family member, then unfortunately she might be unalive if it's not a family member. Look, guys, I think what's happened is the police, I criticize the police a lot. I'll start with me. And I know that the leading sheriff was kind of sloppy, but you know what? They have the best of the best. The feds are involved. President Trump has the feds involved, right? There's 100 and so more detectives on this case, right? This is getting so much publicity. They know the steps to take. I mean, they know exactly. They know, and I agree with Harvey on the sense that he didn't say it in this segment, but I heard Harvey from TMC say he believes they're in a location that's either close to them or the next state over, like here in Las Vegas or New Mexico or even California. I don't believe when it's ransom, they want the money, right? I don't believe they're in Florida. I don't believe they're in North Carolina or Georgia or Southeast or Alabama. I believe they're somewhere in Las Vegas, New Mexico, or California. So they can get very quickly. Indeed, they think they're going to get the money. Somebody says, I think the family's at fault. I mean, I'm sure they've interviewed all of them. I'm sure they've had them all separate in different rooms. And I'm sure they went from everybody from the daughter to the grandkids and so on and so forth. So. All right, I'll read a few more messages, guys. But it is a bizarre story. And it is getting a lot of coverage. Janine says, I don't think they can prove she's alive. I don't think they're going to show her, Janine. I don't think they're going to, what else did I miss here? I'm going back a little bit here. Trying to go back. Yeah, it's not like it feels like a movie. It feels like one of those movies that it turns out to be, at the end of the day, real good, and I hope, but it's not going to be like they're going to say, here she is, blindfold, here's mom, here's grandmom, I don't think you're going to see that. I think these are going to be two things that happen. Either she'll be found alive or she'll be found unalive, unfortunately. Let's be honest, right? And thank you, Whiskey Tango. And you know what? I don't even think you're going to see another note. I don't think, because listen to this. The more ransom notes that come in, think about this. We had 2 ransom notes and 1 text message, completely opposite. The 2 ransom notes add up to be the same IP address. 2, VPN, same IP address, excuse me. The other one was a text message that I believe they haven't talked about it much. I don't know why. So if they go ahead and continue a ransom note, the more they write and do these notes, the chances are they're going to get caught, right? More notes that come out, more you do, the more it leads to you getting captured. So I hope they do, because if there's a 3rd note that comes out, that gets those experts, they rip that letter apart. I mean, literally rip it apart, analyze that note, and they can get closer and closer to that, where, that note's coming from. I would think. I would think if another note comes, and they know that. These people know that. They're crazy, but they're not stupid. Does that make sense? I mean, to write a note like this. So this is crazy. This is wild, crazy stuff here, folks. You'll imagine if it comes out to be a family member. All right, let me get into some more messages here. Oh, they found our loyal moderator and subscriber, Janine. I'm sure you guys read it before I or seen it. They have found a camera on the roof. Whoa! Whoa, why aren't they? Is that on? So I got Newsmax on. Whoa! Thank you, Janine. So a camera was found. If you're just coming in, we're covering this Nancy Guthrie. A camera from a subscriber said was found on the roof of the mansion, of the home. Oh, here we go.
You would think
Here we go.
Apple or a company like that would give this up right away in a case like this, but sometimes it's,
what we got here?
Like you said, laborious.
Okay,
So
I mean, even if
Thank you, Janine. I just went back to Fox. Thank you for.
if I'm the
Love you, Janine. Thank you.
If I'm the CEO, I give it up right away. But first, they have to see which ones hit. Then they can narrow the time frame from the time that the camera goes dead to the time that her, heart device disconnects from the watch. They can look in that time frame and say, okay, these are the cells that were used. These are the tablets used. These are the computers used, and these are the people who own them. They can go track those people.
That's the pull equipment. That's the pump.
criminal cases, have you ever seen
Camera up
such
here
a
somewhere.
bizarre case?
Never.
A camera up here somewhere. This is a bizarre case. Somewhere up here, they found a camera.
This, and I've covered, as you mentioned, kidnappings and all kinds of crimes that occur online. It's really a mystery. Who decides they're going to kidnap the mother of a well-known and beloved morning show anchor and thinks they can get away with it? Now, they're looking at all kinds of other things too, Jesse, including technology in the cars, both the car of Nancy Guthrie, the cars of her relatives whom she was with earlier in the evening, not casting any suspicion on them, but they need to confirm the whereabouts.
What they got here?
Come up at a trial of a kidnapping.
What's going on here? Looked like they had something here. I wish I could go back. I know you guys want to hear this. Looked like they had something.
Did you look here? Did you look there? They have to say, yes, we checked everything out.
Right, and we did the drive, Fox, from the daughter to the mother's house, 10 minutes. The first shot of it, those roads didn't even look paved. It didn't really get into what you look to be civilization. And even then, it's just one stoplight.
Right here.
And
What is that right there? Hold on, folks. We're not going to miss anything. What is that? Is that their equipment? Is that the camera? Is that the camera, Janine? Brian said, Brian, I have to say it's definitely crossed my mind. Something they walked and put right on top of that vehicle right there. I have to say, this is so bizarre. Why would they just pick on this elderly lady? If it was somebody, look, it was not a break-in. It wasn't like, oh, we're going to pick this house. Oh, it's the wrong house. Then they would have just done something very seriously to the woman, right? So it's somebody who knew her. Somebody's been watching the family, and there's some kind of a problem financially where they need the money, or like I said earlier, it's hate. There's some hate on the family by either a family member or a somebody who hate the way they reported the news. Does that make sense? I mean, because it just doesn't make sense that it's 5 days now. It's not 5 days with no information, guys, right? We've seen cases 4 days, 5 days, 30 days. Elizabeth Smart. I'm missing a lot of other cases. But you're talking communication with 2 letters.
just desolate desert on either side.
How much of a challenge is this? It just looks dark in the middle of the night if this is the... It's very challenging because if you don't have that camera, and I'm shocked that the roof wasn't searched. Right? Because what if the guy...
Hey, I appreciate the gifts that are coming in.
Well, you just missed
Thank
that
you.
lead for 6
Miss
days.
Tasha, thank you so much.
whatever they
Appreciate
found
it.
on the roof, and apparently,
Thank you.
according to Paul Moore's reporting, and he's always right, there was some sort of a device up there that could tell the tale. Hopefully it does. But all of this seems to be coming together rather slowly.
Hold on, guys. Did you hear what he said? They found a device. Sorry, guys. Listen in.
Just looks dark in
Hey,
the middle
Barry.
of the night if this is the... It's very challenging because if you don't have that camera, and I'm shocked that the roof wasn't searched. Right? Because what if the guy grabbed the camera and heaved it onto the roof? Well, you just missed that lead for 6 days. So whatever they found on the roof, and apparently, according to Paul Moore's reporting, and he's always right, there was some sort of a device up there.
Okay, hold on, guys. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I turned the camera back to me. All right. So, first of all, thank you, moderators, for being here. Appreciate it. Thank you all for likes and subscribing. Janine, thank you to our moderator for being here, as well as bringing our attention to the rooftop. Now, a device, camera, something found. I find it, for me, what do you guys think? Very odd that the police, FBI, detectives, all of them, 100 detectives, would not check a rooftop. I'm sorry, I can't believe that. Maybe not checking the bathroom drawer. Maybe not checking the freezer, ice machine. But a rooftop, I disagree with the panel on Fox. I don't think so. And I don't think the police have come out and said that. If they do, it makes them look like a big F up. Really. I believe that I'm going to stick to my words. In that second letter, ransom note, there was something in that note that the experts read. And they analyzed it and led to them to go to the roof. And for an example, I have not seen the letter. The only person who knows that letter is Harvey from TMZ and FBI. Not Fox, not me. We're a small YouTube channel. But I'm only guessing. And I don't work for the police or CSI. There's something that said in that letter, have you checked higher elevation, or have you checked for a camera missing on upper level? And I think that's what led them up to there. And they found, thank you, Janine, that device to be a camera. So that's where we're at. This is nuts. And I'm telling you, I think they're going to find something tonight. I really feel like they're getting very close. It's almost like the person who abducted Nancy Guthrie. By the way, if you're just coming in, we're covering Nancy Guthrie, an 84-year-old beautiful woman coming home from church, was abducted 5-6 days ago. And the spotline, the President of the United States, President Trump's involved. I'm not going to get into why her, and if this happened to our families, why wouldn't we get all that? I'm not going to get into that. I promise I would not. If you want to, that's fine. But I want to, it is kind of bizarre. But I believe they want to kind of, it's almost like two things are happening here. Either it is a family member distant that want to get caught. They know that it went too far. We effed up. We don't want to hurt grandmom. We don't want to hurt mom. We don't want to hurt aunt. We don't want to hurt friend. Whatever. It could be that. Or it could be a person who hates NBC and hate the family, and forgive me, guys, of the daughter, Samantha, is it Samantha Guthrie? I forget the daughter's name, guys. I don't have it, my information in front of me if somebody wants to put it out there. But the daughter of Nancy Guthrie said something weeks ago or months ago or a year ago that pissed this person off so much, and it has nothing to do with money at all, and it's all about hate. I don't know. But this is definitely bizarre. And, hey, Whiskey Tango, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Whiskey Tango, for all your support and your donations. We love you, Whiskey Tango. Thank you so much. We'll see you in the next live. Thank you so much. If I don't see you in between now and then, enjoy the rest of your weekend. I think it's about the daughter. Somebody said, I think it's about the daughter. Let's listen in back to we're watching Fox right now. Guys, when I'm naming these stations, not politics. I'm just naming them because we're broadcasting them with copyrights. I might cover CNN. I'm just throwing that out there, or News Nation, or something else. I'm just saying we're going to go back to Fox because of that. All right. Thank you, Whiskey Tango. Thank you so much for the floating heart.
That could tell the tale. Hopefully it does. But all of this.
Let me just read Brian, 6 days camera that's on the roof. You would think within an hour, they would have looked for a weapon or something. Oh, yeah, Brian, absolutely.
Seems to be coming.
Well said, Brian.
Slowly. Yeah, and if it was one of the cameras like they had on the Ring doorbell camera, it wasn't recording.
Right.
So that's another issue. All right, great work. Thank you so much, Chris.
Appreciate it.
More on Nancy Guthrie. Plus, Mike Tyson joins Primetime.
Hold on one second. I see Mike Tyson twice a week. I don't need to see Tyson anymore. I see Mike Tyson. All right, let me just forward this. All right, here we go. And sorry, guys, that came out wrong. Let me just turn the camera. I didn't mean anything harm about Mike Tyson, but I do see him twice a week as a former boxer. It looks like they're back live here because I had it on pause.
Camera that was discovered on the roof. Do you think that was part of the just regular surveillance, or was that wildlife?
You know, I wish I knew. I haven't even seen an image of it yet because of where I'm positioned.
You know, Janine, I agree. It seems like he was really tired. You know, Janine, to me, not to criticize too much, Janine, I'm speaking on my words, I quote. He looked like he's got a year to retire. I'm not judging his appearance. It's almost like he didn't take it seriously on there. But again, I find it hard to believe that they would miss the roof. I mean, come on.
Here at the sheriff's office, it would make sense to have a wildlife camera perhaps on the roof, but who knows? Maybe there's a skylight or something that people feared they could get in through in the past that was...
Carry we are.
I mean, anything really here is possible here without being up on the roof and seeing it.
Welcome in, Paul Warner. How's Paul doing?
You know, would you not have searched the roof and even at the other house originally, just because, you know, the buildings here are all one story and they're quite low. And, you know, I would have to say to myself, if I was going to do a really thorough search, what if they just threw like a knife or something up onto the roof during the course of the thing? So I am surprised that something like this hadn't been found earlier.
I seen that, Janine.
Maybe it's not going to be much help because, as we know, that all the other cameras were all wired in a way that they didn't feed the cloud. And as a result, there's no footage to be found.
All right, so the second note that comes in, it's a second IP address.
All right, listen in, guys. This is important.
Police aren't able to exploit it. This guy's obviously very sophisticated. But the fact that a second note may have been sent, I mean, that has to give so much hope to the Guthries, who are sitting here dealing with what they thought was just a blank stare.
Hey, guys, I want to ask, let me turn the camera around. I want to ask the audience, what do we have in here? 76, 176 in here. I should have asked this when we had a little bit more. Does anybody know about IP address? Can you have two IP address or multiple IP address? Not VPN. I'm referring to IP address. I thought you can have multiple IP address. Am I wrong? I'm going to wait. Yes, you can have multiple IP address. Somebody listening to me? I'm just kidding. Yes, you can, right? Barbara says yes, yes. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure you can have it. Now, VPN, no, right? VPN is 1. Yes or no on the VPN. But IP address, you can have multiple IP address.
And basically a clock ticking down to death on Monday. How much momentum does this give this investigation and negotiation?
Well, if it does indeed open up a line of communication, that is a major break. Because up until
Joyce, only 1 VPN?
now, if the ransomers here they've been so indifferent that it made you question the entire construction of what's going on here. Is it not an actual ransom situation?
Oh, you can hop on VPN to VPN from a comment here. You can.
Are they not interested in getting paid? Is there some other motive? Is another group involved? I've had ransomware cases where the original bad guys are being assisted by another set of bad guys. You never know who you're negotiating with. So if they've actually been able to confirm that they're talking to the real bad guys, that is the major break in this thing. Now, one of the ways to be able to tell how much authenticity to give this for the 2 notes is if the IP address you can easily obfuscate. They did it once, they could do it again. You use the onion router, you bounce it around the world. That's the most simple way to do it, and it's easily done. It's very hard to break. But the thing I would be looking for to prove it's the same person is, did they put in the Bitcoin wallet? Assuming they want to get paid so badly, and that's what they're pressing for, if they put that long string of numerals in to the second note, which is so unique, no, it's not out. Nobody could ever guess
This
it.
guy's good.
But immediately say to yourself, this is the same person. And then you'd have to start to say to yourself, this is a pretty sophisticated operation, and maybe these notes are the real deal.
Yeah, it's a break. Hopefully it's a good one. Thank you so much. Fox and Friends weekend co-host Griff Jenkins and Fox News medical contributor Dr. Nicole Saphier. So Griff,
look at this lady.
There was
what a shame,
20 minutes when we believe these abductors were inside the house before she left, or the motion sensors detected someone leaving. What could have possibly been going on for that long?
That's a great question. Excuse me, because you know at 1:47 a.m. the door camera gets knocked off or taken down, but then it's 2:28 that she leaves, presumably the house, because that's when the pacemaker loses contact with the Apple Watch, and that's 41 minutes. Abductors don't take 41 minutes. It suggests to you, Jesse, that they were familiar with who they were kidnapping. Maybe they needed to grab some medicine. Maybe they needed to do something. But they spent 40 minutes roughly inside that house with her, which it doesn't feel like a random thing, and suggests that maybe they knew him. I will say this, though, also, because Paul was just talking about it may be a break and that the kidnappers are trying to get paid. Let's break this down. They have 2 jobs. Take the person, abduct them, and then get paid. They did a good job right out of the gate because nobody was on the trail. Every hour after an abduction matters on whether they get caught. They are gone. And obviously here we are 6 days later. But they didn't do the other part, which is to get paid. And so the second ransom note suggests that they're feeling that they're not going to get paid. And
because they listened to the videos, and the videos from the family clearly said, we're not going to just wire money to a random Bitcoin account unless we have proof of life, and then we can talk.
Amen,
Nicole,
Joyce.
How important is it to move this as quickly as possible? She's 84. We don't know what kind of medication she needs and what kind of condition she's in because of the blood splatter.
Yeah, I mean, there is no lower act than preying on the medically vulnerable. And what we know about Nancy Guthrie right now is she's an 84-year-old woman, lives alone in her home in Tucson, Arizona. She is mentally sharp, but she is physically frail. We know she has long-standing cardiac issues requiring a pacemaker. But what I've also makes me a little bit more concerned about is the fact that we've heard her family say that she requires daily medications to not only stop suffering from chronic pain, but to stay alive. Most commonly, when you have an older woman with a pacemaker, you have hypertension
You know, Barbara, I agree with you, Barbara. I said this last night, Barbara, to my wife. This woman, yes, it's a shame. She looks very, very good, but is also not in the best of health. And as far as heart condition, who would do this? Who would do this terrible thing? Who would go in to a woman's house and take a woman who has a pacemaker and medication? Look, it leads me back to say this. I still believe it's somebody who knows the family very well, or even a family member. It's just heartbreaking.
You have antiarrhythmics. You can have blood clotting medication to keep her blood thin. So did they take the time to take her medications, as Griff alluded? Possibly, except it did seem that the family and the sheriff's office are concerned that she doesn't have her medications. So it doesn't seem like she may have had them. I hope that she does. But as you're alluding to right now we have these external stressors. We already have the fact that she may not have her medications, which could result in a medical emergency like a heart attack, a seizure, a stroke.
We don't know. I mean, we're all, including myself. She might have the medication. She might not.
Or anything of that sort. But now you have these external stressors, dehydration, a rise in like cortisol, norepinephrine, epinephrine, all of those stress hormones that can also raise the blood pressure, cause stroke, cause seizures, cause heart attacks, and other things. Elderly women alone, no medical.
This was moments ago, guys. Moments ago.
They can wind up in the emergency room. So time is of the essence.
Yeah, and I wonder if she is still alive, and hopefully she is still alive, whether the kidnappers showed Nancy the video from Savannah, because at one point Savannah was talking directly to her mom, and trying to keep her spirits up. Guys, we'll be with you in a second. One sec. Bernard Zapor is a former special agent in charge of the ATF. Bernard, they went dark immediately, and a lot of people lost hope. The second level of communication and the fact that there's sensitive information, quote unquote, in the second note, and is
Guys, real quick, as we're watching it together, I missed something. Can somebody or a few of you help me out? Did he just say, did Jesse Waters say what I thought he said? Did I hear that right, guys? I'm sorry, I got some birds downstairs who are hungry, and I'm trying to look at some comments and watch this together. Did Jesse Waters say this? Did he say that there was communication? Did Jesse Waters said that the second letter there was communication between Nancy, the 84-year-old woman who was kidnapped 6 days ago? Excuse me. Did I hear that correctly? Should we go back? I don't want to go back if I don't have to. I thought I heard him say that, because I have not heard that yet. I did not hear that. Shannon, thank you. 1970. Yes, second note. So second note had the communication. Okay, that I didn't know. See, that's new. Whoa. All right, let's move on. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you. Appreciate that. I just didn't want to have to go back and forth again, guys.
To Savannah Guthrie and her brothers, 2 videos. What does that tell you?
There's 2 things right now that stand out to me. One being that when you see this, these multiple responses to the site itself, the location, and these searches that are taking place, that is all being inspired because of new information. And sometimes that's not just a...
Yeah, let me just stop there and read an interesting comment. Marim Manzan, I'm having trouble with your pronoun. Thank you for your comment. Interesting, though. It's been stated that the notes were phony. Yeah, I know. I don't know. I mean, I've heard they're phony, and then they're hearing other reports. But thank you for being here. Thank you, Texas Proud 76. Thank you so much for being here. Let's take it as it is serious. I'm sure they're taking it very serious. They have nothing else to go on. So let's say they are very serious. I don't believe you're going to get another note if that's the people, plural, or one person that has this elderly 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie, right? So let's all, they're taking it serious that there's nothing else to go on. And if it is true, what do they do next? What leads do they have? Why did they go back onto the rooftop? And that's where we're at pretty much. Now, over here, this was moments ago.
Yes, but they're looking at things in a new way and very specifically trying to search for something that was triggered. And it could have been triggered with this latest information. It could have been the digital data that is coming back that is telling them something, but it's very purposeful. And they are looking for very specific things that are probably going to be, critically important for next steps. The other thing that I would offer is that, investigators themselves have to remind that sometimes they're overthinking the motive and intent and the way that an operation took place, when it could be like not smart people that are just greedy and evil that are doing something. So they have to make sure that they have somebody that's thinking at a dumbed down level almost, so they don't put themselves in a way where they're pursuing things that may not appear frivolous at the time, but be consuming important investigative time. And in this case, for somebody that's vulnerable and needs to be rescued and recovered.
Yeah, you got to cover all your bases, but we did hear from Harvey Levin, and it was confirmed by the local reporter that
Let me ask the audience real quick. I read a message about 20 minutes ago saying it could be kids. Does anybody believe this could be kids? When I say kids, like 17, 19-year-old? Because a couple of things. I'm just curious. I won't do a poll. I just asking real quick, and we're gonna go back. Could this be kids like between the age of 15 and 19 that are writing these ransom notes and go as far as taking this woman? Yes or no in the chat. It's just my thoughts. Could this be kids? Barbara says no. Could this be kids like 15-year-old and 19-year-old? Young people doing this. It could be. There's a couple no's. It could be. Yeah. Maybe. Janine says no. Yeah, I just wanted to throw it there because I read that comment, an interesting comment.
Sure, and the sentences and the grammar were from someone who was well educated, and there wasn't anything to indicate that this person was sloppy, poor, or had rushed into this. That seemed very formulaic and well thought out. That's probably pretty scary, because now you're dealing with someone who's intelligent and has taken steps to cover their bases.
All right, let me just stop, Jesse.
How concerned
Hold on.
is the FBI?
I'm gonna now listen, guys. I'm gonna correct Jesse Waters on a little bit of my psychology that I'm gonna brag about. He's incorrect on one thing. Okay, ready? Supposedly, the person, or plural, the people, I still think there's more than one person who wrote, assuming the ransom letter is real. Let's assume it's real. Well, it is real, but assuming those are the people who have Nancy. Just because they're very educated, know how to write proper English, does not mean that they're, intelligent. Like they're just, so he's, I don't want to get on Jesse Waters too much, but he's incorrect, because there's people who can write real good. They did very well in English in college, but not so good in other categories. So I don't know. What I'm alluding to is it could be somebody, it could just be somebody who knew somebody to write it. It could be that the person has a smart sister, a smart uncle, a smart mom, a smart friend who wrote it. It could be that too. So just want to throw that in the mix of this complicated story here. This is bizarre.
There's obviously things that have triggered these new physical searches and other information. In terms of the structure of the written communication, I don't put direct faith in that necessarily, because AI can help us with poor communication very quickly, and it can be modified numerous times. And again, somebody could be smart enough to try to alter their lexicon and how they communicate.
Absolutely, Shannon. Shannon,
So
absolutely.
all those things have to be considered.
Absolutely, my friend.
Definitively, they have triggered something here that they are searching for specifically that's physical in nature, that's going to give them a missing piece that they feel like they're pretty hot on at the moment.
Yeah, we don't know whether that's from the car or from the note or for anything. We're just
So this
not
is
sure.
this is live apparently,
Very
guys.
interesting perspective.
This
Thank
is
you so
live
much.
right now. We're looking at.
Griff, did you want to add something?
I just want to add that, you know, if we go back to when I interviewed yesterday, Mary Coleman of KOLD that got the first note and now the second one, I asked her, when did you get this first note? She said Monday morning. Now, that would have been, Jesse, well before this was widely publicized. And the fact that the alleged kidnappers had all these details, specific things in it that led to the validity of the note well before it was public is an interesting fact, because now you're seeing the movement and we're showing the video of the authorities searching the house. Something was in this second note that not only, I think, led them to believe there's validity in the first note, but also something that could break the case. I've covered a lot of crime scenes. When you see this kind of movement 6 days later and they pull the media out, you know they're onto something, and I think it's tied to whatever that new information
I
is
agree.
in the second.
I said that
If they're
earlier.
sending these notes to the locals, I'm wondering if they're staying local so they can.
You know, guys, I said this. What did I say? I've been saying this since we pretty much come live, right, on the note, second website. Folks, I agree. I think it's getting close. I have this feeling. I would say the latest tomorrow morning, maybe even earlier this evening. It could be while we're live. I got to get something to eat, of course, but I'm thinking. How do I put this? One or two things are going to happen here, Frank. One, I hope this is number one. They're going to have this They're going to have this grandmom back, this Nancy Guthrie back, this 84-year-old lady back. You know, some cuts and bruises, worn out, of course, and she'll be alive. You know, amen. Shortly after that, perhaps an hour after, they'll find these pieces of shit who did this. And I still think it's somebody very close to the family or a family member. My opinion. I'm not going to mention any names because it's not right. But, or the unthinkable where, you know, they find her unalive. It would be very sad, but at least it would bring closure to the family. Instead of just going on for another day, another 5 days, another week. And, you know, and then the longer this goes on, I promise I'll go back and to Jesse Waters primetime or whoever else is covering this, guys. It would be so much stress on the family. But aside from that, I'm afraid that you get these other sickos, trolls, and I don't mean trolls on here, but sickos that feed on this, who start impersonating and start having things written up, and the detectives go, nah, that's somebody else. No, that's somebody else. Whoa. You know, and try to confuse the authorities. And I hope we don't see that, you know, where you'll see a fake note. I one or two things, but I think we're coming close. I think she's alive. I think this woman's alive. I think you're going to find her alive, worn out, stressed, but I think she's alive. I really do. I feel that she's alive. I really do.
It's the local news break in real time. What does that tell you about the terrain? Quickly, that if she is in the area, that's kind of rough.
Yeah,
Thank you, Mike.
In Arizona, absolutely. You know, we know that she had some blood droplets on her front porch as she left there. Elderly tend to be on baby aspirin, blood thinners, so it's possible that this isn't a catastrophic assault event that resulted in the blood, but potentially a nosebleed or bumped her arm on the way out, and so may have dripped some blood. But she's out in the desert, dehydration. I mean, unfortunately, it's a concern, and we just hope for a return.
Thank you guys so much. Our exclusive interview with Mike Tyson next.
Hold on, guys. You guys want to see Mike Tyson? All right, so let's see here, guys. I'm gonna turn the camera around, and yeah, prayers. If you believe in prayers or believe in somebody, it's a good time. All right, so I think we got everything out of. So thank you once again to Janine to go back to Fox, who brought us to where we're at now, and the camera situation. So once again, thank you, moderators, for being here. I'm going to switch over to. We'll go to another news outlet here, guys, and see if there's another lead that.
Find savings at capitalizer.com.
What's your thoughts, guys? You think this woman? You think? Two questions. You think it's going to end tonight? Yes or no? Will they find her tonight?
In an F-16 fighter jet. He was a pilot at the time with the Air National Guard.
I'm Lieutenant Colonel
No.
Charles Guthrie, and I'm Savannah's big brother.
We got you.
Oh, this is the family member. Hold on.
Savannah did regular.
Hold on, guys. Hold on. Wait a minute. Barbara says no. Mike says no. Hold on.
Welcome a very talented cook to our kitchen. Oh, yes. One I know well.
Oh, this is. I haven't seen this. So this is on NBC today. I guess when Nancy.
My mom, Nancy Guthrie.
Today, viewers got to know Savannah's siblings, too.
I am so
Is it this man here?
proud of my family, and I have a sibling that I think our country can be proud of, too.
In July 2012, Savannah flew with her brother Cameron in an F-16 fighter jet. He was a pilot at the time with the Air National Guard.
Whoa.
I'm Lieutenant Colonel Charles Guthrie, and I'm Savannah's big brother.
We got you a name tag and your own call sign.
Could it be the big brother, folks? I mean, it could be anybody, right?
Savannah did regular features with her sister Annie, too, who was a writer and jeweler.
Annie and I.
Whoa. Hold on, folks. Wait a minute. Why is Sal yelling? Whoa. Time out. Wait a minute. Who's a writer? Who's the writer? Who's the writer? Did they say somebody was a writer? Wait a minute. Shit. I got to go back. Hold on, guys. Listen in. Maybe I'm hearing things. Somebody was a writer. Where am I going with this? Hold on.
Yes. That would have been right around here. Yeah. Taken right around here.
Nancy Guthrie had become somewhat of a regular on the Today Show.
I am thrilled to welcome a very talented.
Hold on. Savannah's sister is a writer. Okay, hold on. We're going to talk about that.
One I know well, my mom, Nancy Guthrie.
Today, viewers got to know Savannah's siblings, too.
I am so proud of my family, and I have a sibling that I think our country can be proud of, too.
In July 2012, Savannah flew with her brother Cameron in an F-16 fighter jet. He was a pilot at the time with the Air National Guard.
I'm Lieutenant Colonel Charles Guthrie, and I'm Savannah's big brother.
We got you a name tag and your own call sign, Vinny.
Savannah did regular features with her sister Annie, too, who was a writer and jeweler.
A writer. Okay, the reason I say I pull this out is this. You heard Harvey from TMZ. We listened to Harvey talk to Chris Como. He talked to Hannity last night. It doesn't matter. He's come out and said, Harvey, in his opinion, that who wrote this was somebody very good with grammar, spelling, and that kind of stuff. Whoa. And she's a writer, the sister. Now, did you guys seen, is Crystal still on here? I think it was Crystal or a few of you as we watched it together. There wasn't much emotion from the sister. But would she have, if somebody would, and by the way, guys, hold on. Let me just turn the camera around. We're just a YouTube channel, very small, discussing my thoughts, our thoughts in writing. We're not accusing anybody. Allegedly, I've said it a million times, just to throw that out there for YouTube. Allegedly, our thoughts on this horrific crime. Might not be the sister at all. I'm just pointing out some clues. I'm sure detectives have already, I'm just bringing it out there. But a writers are very good on, writing. I just want to put that out there as far as the ransom note. Now, I'm not going to go back to the video where they're all together. Maybe they'll show it on here. But she seemed real tense, when they were sitting there talking. That's the sister there, I guess, when they were younger, in the red there.
Annie and I would be in a fight as little kids, and my mom would separate us and say, go to your room. And then about...
Texas says... let me read some comments here. Texas proud. And Texas, thank you for your comments tonight. Welcome in. Yes, she was almost robotic. I agree. I agree with Texas proud 76. I agree.
5 minutes later, one of us would send a note under the door. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Want to be friends again? What are you doing?
Savannah, true to her faith, has said they believe God is the sixth member of their family. Now they are counting on him to bring their mother home. Randy K.
Good point, Janine. Good point, Janine.
CNN.
Very good point.
We wish them well. That's it for us. The Source with Caitlin Collins.
Crazy stuff, folks. Good point.
And we do have breaking news out of Arizona tonight as the FBI and the Pima County Sheriff's Office now confirm they are investigating a new message connected to the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, the 84-year-old mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie. This is a message that was sent to the CNN affiliate KOLD, which is one of 3 media outlets that actually got that separate, unverified ransom note.
Once again,
that demanded millions
just for
Bitcoin for
copyrights and YouTube, we are now watching
these two
CNN
notes
broadcasts.
from person or people or entity.
We jumped over to
In a few
CNN.
moments, I'm going to speak with one of the anchors from KOLD who got this new email. Their newsroom, in turn, sent it to local officials, and the FBI is now investigating.
Mac says just pay the ransom.
Not at all. It's again given to the FBI.
Welcome in, Mac. Welcome in, Mac.
And we'll let it go.
The problem with that is, Mac, the problem with that is if you just pay the ransom, right? I thought, just pay. A couple things to everybody who's thought on just pay it. So I don't just call out one name, because I'm sure a lot of us have thought that, right? Just pay it. A couple things. One would be this. We don't still know, and authorities are treating it very serious, that is the right people. So now you go ahead and they come up with millions of dollars and pay the ransom with Bitcoin or whatever the hell they want. I think it's Bitcoin. And it's not there, right? And then number 2, what guarantee do you have to have the mom back or the grandmother, the back? So you gotta, it's not a movie, guys. This is not one of these movies that we've seen on Netflix or the big screen years ago, right? Or as somebody said earlier, Columbo. Remember Columbo? This is a real stuff, guys. Real deal. So, no, you can't just pay the money. I know you think, well, just do it and roll the dice and hope that they're going to return. Hello, Matthew, the mom. So, I know it's hard. It's a hard situation. So, it's very, very hard. But I still think that they're getting, I think the fact that they went on the rooftop and that kind of stuff and led them to the camera they found. Oh, let's go back, Barbara, to Fox. Hold on. So we want to go back to Fox to talk about Hannity. Hold on. So let's go back. Hey, I appreciate you guys helping me out here tonight. Thank you. Let me go back to, why are we having problems here? Why am I having problems with Fox? I'm having problems with Fox. Having problems with Fox right now. I don't know why. So, unfortunately, oh, here we go. Hold on, let me get Fox back. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. We're going to go to Fox and Hannity.
Savannah and her family.
Oh, here's Harvey again on Fox. Harvey's a busy man.
So it makes it that much tougher.
Yeah, it does make it tougher. But one of the reporters at KOLD.
Welcome in Dustin Nunez,
in describing the letter,
our loyal moderator, our loyal member.
Made it sound like there's something alarming in there. There was no ransom demand or anything like that, but there was something in there that was somewhat alarming. And I have no idea. It could have to do with Nancy's health. I don't know. But when we got our first letter, the first thing out of the box was she's okay but scared. So that was 10 days ago. So
the first letter, as Hannity says, I apologize, not Hannity. Harvey from TMZ says she's okay. That was the first letter.
She didn't have her medication when she was abducted nearly going on a week ago.
Check on her doctor. Hold on. Philip, welcome in. Hey, Philip. Welcome in. And Philip, interesting comment, Philip. Philip states, check the doctor. Check the doctor. Check the family physician. Check the main family physician. Check the doctor. Check the cardiologist. Check one of the doctors. Interesting. Thank you.
The reference was to that. I will say, Sean, we got our letter, which is the same letter that KOLD has, the first one. Yep. We got it 12 hours after KOLD got its. Wow. So I don't know if we are going to end up getting this, but what I'm going to be looking for is if they are describing in any way the condition of Nancy Guthrie. Because if they're not making an additional ransom demand, other than the fact.
But does Harvey look a little tired? Harvey looks really drained, folks.
The reporter said they are trying to prove they are the real deal, and it seems like these two letters are written by the same person. You would think they would have some reference in there to how Nancy is doing.
Well, let's go back to the original letter, Harvey, that you received, and the fact that it mentioned not just the one deadline of yesterday, but the second deadline that is Monday, I would assume 5 p.m. Tucson.
Here's another good comment here. Drive around with the phone and try to reconnect to the pacemaker. But the problem is the Bluetooth. I don't know a whole lot about pacemakers. I know my mom, who recently passed away, who got a pacemaker and then passed away, not because of the pacemaker didn't work. But I remember them saying it had to connect to a Bluetooth, so I'm not real familiar. Welcome in, Richard.
And that would be Monday. And with
thank you, it's okay. Thank you so much.
It would be far more consequential, meaning it sounded somewhat dire, more threatening for her and her safety and her life. That has not changed from all we know about this new letter that came in today.
I can't tell you that. What the reporter said was the deadlines haven't changed.
Welcome in, Big G. So Stop 6.
This sounds more like, again, I don't know because I have not seen the second letter. But I think one of the things everybody is thinking about right now is how is Nancy doing? Assuming she's unharmed, how is she doing? She doesn't have her medication. There are definitely health issues. So I don't know if they have referenced that. But it seems to me that if they are trying to squeeze the family to hit the
I'm so sorry, Dustin. My deepest prayers.
That's one of the things that they would do. That would be a pressure point. Again, I don't know what it says, but from the way the reporter described it, it sounded like there was something somewhat alarming in it.
I can certainly understand there's been now 2 pleas from the family, one from Savannah directly, one from her brother, for proof of life that you are who you say you are. And it seems consistent, this letter, if it's real, again, if all the
So, hold on, guys.
That it would become.
Is that, correct me if I'm wrong. Is that the sister who's the writer? That's the sister, right? Who's the writer? Thank you, Janine. Thank you, Texas. Thank you, Pro. Thank you. So that's the sister. I mean, it would be unfair for me to play Monday quarterback. I mean, you can certainly look, they're very worn out, exhausted. I'm just saying, guys, I know I got a little hyper, but it's just, you get caught up into this story, and they said she's a writer. And for those who are coming in, we're listening to Harvey and Hannity. Harvey looks exhausted. And the second letter came in, but they said the Harvey and the authorities said whoever wrote this letter has perfect English. Who wrote this is very, when you're a writer, you got to be very good and sharp. You know what I mean? Like the commas, the periods, the capital, perfect. And they already ruled out AI, right? I think they ruled out AI. So anyhow, I just want to clarify that is the sister. Okay, let's move on. Sorry, folks.
The same person, although a different IP address. In this particular case, one has to imagine as we get closer to Monday at 5 p.m. Tucson time, whether or not they just hit send on that Bitcoin letter. And I would not blame them, whatever decision they made. I'm sure they're in total agony over it.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right.
Guys, hold on one second. I really,
decision. They have not.
This is probably very, is this Harvey? Is this Harvey from TMZ? Is this, I thought I've seen him about a month ago. He looks like, I hope I'm wrong. Is he sick? I mean, or is he just tired? I mean, I know I'm aging too, man. I mean, I know I'm aging, but it's almost like he's gotten really old though, but I'm talking old in 2 weeks. Or I've seen him somewhere. Where did I see him at? Not in person. It was the Epstein files. No. Hold on. Anyhow, I don't watch TMZ that much, but he looks like he's very, I don't know. He looks exhausted. I wish him well. All right, let's get back. I'm sorry. I just wanted to point that out there.
Said proof of life so far.
Thanks, George.
One of the things I want to see the KOLD, when you send a letter to their tip line, it does not allow for an attachment. I believe that our tip line does, so I don't know if we end up getting that letter with it.
I don't know if it's the light, Barber. Maybe the light, but he looks exhausted.
The family has been asking for proof of life. I don't know, again, what is in that letter.
But what I do know, folks,
based on what the reporter said, it is.
What I do know is, I pray my deepest prayers. This lady's alive. You think of your, like I just lost my mother and Dustin lost. I'm sure a lot of you have lost your mother, your stepmother, your aunt, whatever. And when it comes to elderly, first of all, anybody, I don't want anybody to be abducted. Nobody. When it comes to elderly or kids, it just tears you up.
Instructed this in a very similar way to the way the first letter was, and I can tell you that first letter is written by someone who is articulate, who knows grammar, who knows structure, and it sounds like the two were written by the same person based on the way the reporter at KOLD described that second letter.
Harvey, you can tell in your coverage how much you care. Your coverage has been phenomenal. We appreciate you spending time with us tonight. We thank you. Thank you very much. All right, here with more analysis is Nancy Grace is back with us.
You guys want to hear Nancy? Let's hear Nancy Grace.
Again, to unpack that's new tonight. A new message. Now, they're...
Guys, I just want to, real quick before we hear. Okay. So, before we listen to Nancy Grace, she's pretty sharp too. So we're going to listen to Nancy Grace. I just want to say thank you so much for being here. I appreciate all the likes. Just a small YouTube channel. Any way you look at this, it's very sad. But I think that the roof and the camera. Oh, so wait a minute. Let's back up. So the camera has been found, correct? We've been bouncing back and forth. So Hopefully that camera on the roof can tell us more. All right, let's listen to Nancy Grace. But thank you so much. Thank you, moderators, for being here. Shout out to Maribel. Thank you, Maribel.
At the home, investigators are back at the home, a new investigation. Now the media has been pushed out. Again, no proof of life. And, the deadline is getting near. And there's no path to communication with this individual. You covered crime your entire adult life. What do you make of all this?
A lot. From the get-go, I have believed that the author of these ransom notes is local. It's a he, statistically. He has an attachment to KOLD. Did he grow up there? When I was writing my first fiction book, I had to refer to a radio station, a TV station. I went to the one of my childhood, WMAZ. A sentimental attachment. Did he grow up there? Does he watch it? I guarantee you he's watching right now. Now, while there was no proof of life,
Paul, you read my mind, Paul.
Next missive, we were told that there was sensitive information. What does that mean? That could mean anything. That could mean her favorite color is purple. She likes oatmeal in the morning. Her first pet as a little girl was cinnamon cat. I mean, it could mean anything. It could be anything in there that only she would know and only the family would recognize. Now, why is he choosing to communicate with a media outlet? Probably because, trying to communicate with law enforcement is like walking into the lion's den. No. He feels comfortable writing KOLD. He didn't put another deadline in. And most important, while everyone is looking at the negative aspects of this last missive, I'm looking at the positive. This guy wants to deal. He wants to talk. I'm sure there's a number of reasons he's not communicating directly with Savannah or a sibling.
I agree.
Law enforcement.
I agree.
He feels at home, better with, more protected with KOLD. And I guarantee you something else. There was something in that letter that just came down today that put them up on the top of that roof, and they are now scouring the
What did I say, folks?
area. The homeowner association in that neighborhood has contacted everyone living there saying they're coming, they're searching, please open up your properties. Interesting that they are searching the properties of people in that very area, home to home. Curtilage to curtilage, that's garage, shed, dollhouse, you name it. Why? I'm curious. That tells me something. But I'm very intrigued with them going up on the roof. What was in that note that put them up on the roof?
What did I say, folks?
Okay. They went back to the house. Law enforcement has gone back. By the way, they have over 100 local people with adjoining counties participating and the FBI. So there are a lot of resources now on the ground here. Back at the house, media removed. That's interesting to me. They don't want this guy knowing what they are up to, although you can see the shot from the roof. Now, one other piece of the puzzle. There was a Circle K that confirmed that law enforcement did go to one of their stores receiving a tip regarding a vehicle of interest, and their team provided them access to the store's surveillance video. Now, this is an issue that we discussed in detail last night, and that is, okay, there's one way in, there's one way out. At some point, there has to be some camera, some place picking up license plates, vehicles, type of vehicles that are in the surrounding area, were in the surrounding area at the time of this event.
I agree 100%.
It's very simple. From the stream to the river, from the river to the ocean, there's an outlet. Just as you're saying, there's an outlet, even though there may not be cameras that are helping us in that neighborhood, there's got to be a stop sign or a red light. And another thing about this quick trip, where they got the surveillance, same thing happened in Brian Koberger. Same thing happened in Alex Murdaugh. You follow the road. You follow it to its natural end, its turning point, its dead end. You have to go one way or the other. And this quick trip is also telling me the direction the perp went. See what I mean? You get to the red light, that way or that way, he's going that way. Okay, what is that way? Where is that leading me? It's slim, true, but it's something. I would be on those red lights on every LPR license plate reader along that way. There are about 200 in the Tucson area. Knuckle down. Also, I just wanted to tell you, I spoke with one of the founding members of CAST, Cellular Analysis Survey Team, and they are all over it tonight. They have people there in DC working with people locally. The locals are trying to download what they can from the towers, and those elsewhere remote are analyzing it. Remember, there's only 3 really big servers, and that would be AT&T, T-Mobile, and VCW. All the other mom and pops use those lines. They are now identifying cars in that area that were there between that time, that critical time frame between 1 a.m. and 6 a.m. And they're finding cars that went in and out, not like an Uber driver, but stayed for a certain period of time and left. And remember, it's 2:30 in the morning. Who's driving around at that time of the morning on an early Sunday morning? I have great faith. Now, there's a problem with that, Sean. Burner phones. Because when you prepay,
Exactly.
you can put, hey, my
Burning
name's Bugs
phones.
Bunny. You don't have to put your name or your real address, your real phone number, none of that. Because if it's a burner phone turning up in that area, they then have to find out where was it purchased, try to get video, the works. Then they'll have to see, who did that person, who did Bugs Bunny call? Is he calling his girlfriend? Is he calling his dope dealer? It's very hard when you got a burner phone, but I know that CAST, Cellular Analysis Survey Team, is about 3 inches up that tailpipe tonight.
Let's go back to what Harvey just revealed to us. In the initial letter that he got at TMZ, the letter said that Nancy would be returned back to Tucson within a specific time frame. That's very telling. He actually gave us a really good perimeter, great analysis of the distance it would take to drive back to Tucson. That's part one. Number two, neighbors say a suspicious white van was spotted on their street only days before Guthrie went missing. You know, one particular neighbor said he informed police about the unmarked van when he was questioned by authorities. Okay. If this doesn't look like the type of neighborhood, Nancy, where you just happen to stop and let me sit here for a few hours and eat my lunch. And most workers are in a van that is marked with their company logo. So that seems odd to me. That seems like surveillance to me.
Yes, it does. And the fact that this was noticed by more than one person gives it the indicia of credibility. It's not just one Gladys Kravitz next door going, hey, I saw a white van. No, it's more than one person, and they seem to be credible. So that needs to be chased down.
I've said that too.
And now that they have the
Gotta be too.
general description of the van, and they've got a date, they're going to be able to go back to that red light I keep talking about and get a description and maybe even a license and track it down. That is big. Yes, it's a needle in a haystack, but it's something, Sean.
Time is going by, and apparently she's not in the best of health. She needs her medication, and time is really of the essence. And that second deadline warning that Harvey mentioned, that's chilling. That's why I think law enforcement is all in right now. Nancy, you've been phenomenal. We appreciate you as always. Thank you.
Nancy does a great job.
With more analysis, former FBI Special Agent Nicole Parker, retired FBI Supervisory Special Agent James Gagliano, Fox News legal analyst Greg Jarrett. Nicole, let's start with you. With all these new pieces of evidence, all right, we have another.
What do you guys think? What's your thoughts?
New to what we have tonight. We have the white van on the street. That's new to that's new to us.
Okay,
today.
so the white van, that's new. I haven't heard anything about a white van. Have you guys heard about the white van? If you're just coming in, this is a mystery around Nancy Guthrie, the disappearance. It's been 6 days. We just heard from Nancy Grace. We also heard from Harvey from TMZ and his second note, the ransom note.
All right, that's a slew of questions. And
Here, let's listen. I'm sorry to the response here. The white van
has just recently been received in the last several hours. It was a second
ransom email
Sorry.
that was sent at least to one of the same local media agencies. And that's very, very important because based on our understanding of what it says, it is very similar to the first ransom email that was sent, both in style and in language and in the format that it was sent. And I do believe that it had been stated that this second ransom email also had a masked IP address. And I will reassure you that the FBI is behind the scenes right now working vigorously to identify that masked IP address. FBI agents do have the capability to identify a masked IP address. I am not going to go into the details because we do use sensitive investigative techniques that I'm not at the liberty to discuss.
Did you guys hear that?
I will tell you that they go through layers and
Did you hear
layers and
that?
layers, and it is absolutely possible to do. I have seen it happen, and I have seen it upheld in federal court. So let's rest assured that that is happening. They're not going to be talking about that, but that is absolutely possible. And also, this Bitcoin account, I think it also demonstrates a certain level of sophistication. There are many users that would not know how to set up a certain Bitcoin account and wallet that's not traceable. And the FBI is all over looking that Bitcoin account as well. The fact that the van was seen, that's important. That's an anomaly. Neighbors commented on it. They've told law enforcement about it. They will run that lead down as well. Nancy Grace spoke in detail about CAST. That's very, very important to be able to identify the users that were in a certain area at a certain time. They triangulate and they look at which cell phone towers certain cell phones were pinging off of. That's beneficial if a cell phone was turned on. And if it wasn't, it may not be as useful. But let me tell you, the offenders always make mistakes, Sean. They might be sophisticated, but when you've got the best investigators in the world looking at this case, they will be tracked down and there will be a mistake made. And there is someone within the sound of my voice, and they are someone knows this offender. They need to call 1-800-CALL-FBI.
So
I've said it before. Somebody knows that this offender did this, and they need to report it.
Ladies and gentlemen, she's
James,
speaking.
let's get your take. James Gagliano.
She is speaking like she's speaking to the people, plural, possibly people, obvious one man, or they're saying one man, but the way she speaks, it's almost like they are confident that Nancy Guthrie is alive, and trying to referring to the IP address, how she talks about they'll make mistakes. You will make mistakes. So now this is live right now. What you're seeing here in the black and white, this is all live, courtesy of Fox here in Tucson, Arizona, the rooftop. What was on the rooftop? Well, we heard there's a camera. They found a camera. I haven't heard any more about the camera, though, so let's see if we hear more about the camera. Brian says that the van was spotted 2 days before the abduction. And they keep looking here. You see how they're showing this video of these two agents? They're looking down there. See how they just go? I mean, they're showing it over and over, but it's almost like there's something that caught their attention right there, folks. Yes or no? Something's there. They're not looking at a dead squirrel or something, or a water line broke. There's something there. There's something right there. They keep showing that over and over. Now, once again, if you're just coming in, I appreciate the likes. If you haven't subscribed, we appreciate it. My name is Sal. This is in Tucson, Arizona. We're going back and forth on multiple news channels. I'm not favoring one or the other. We're just going to one that brings up new updates. Now, Harvey looks exhausted. It looks like he's been on multiple news outlets. I feel they're getting very close. I don't mean close right here on finding something. I mean in general. I think I believe with Nancy Grace. Did you hear what Nancy Grace said? Nancy Grace said, she felt like I did, like on the ransom note, the second note. Did you hear what Nancy said? Nancy said, the reason he went back on the roof, because, Jesse Waters and some of the comments I read, and even myself in the beginning said, well, maybe they missed something. And wait a minute, very well, they could have just missed something. Let's just say that. Let's put that out there. But I'm with Nancy Grace. I think there was something in that note. That led the authorities, hello guys, that led the authorities, some grammar, something that 1 word, 2 words, 3 words. Whoa. I find it hard to believe. And I agree with Janine, our loyal moderator, and some others, that the sheriff looked tired, exhausted. But I find it hard to believe that they would forget to go on the roof. I can see forgetting the freezer, a drawer, a closet, but the roof. So I think there was something in that letter. And I believe, as Nancy says, they want to either get paid or they want this to come to a conclusion very quick. Whether they're getting scared, because there's not going to be a third letter. Yes or no? You guys agree? Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you'll see a third letter. I don't think you're going to see a third letter. The reason is, a third letter, there's a greater chance that these people or person will get caught. But I might be wrong. But there's something in that letter that led them to go to that roof. And you can see those 2 detectives. Looks like they're 2 female detectives. They're looking down. They're looking down at something here on that wall or something below. Maybe they've seen something in the landscaping. I don't know. They found a door camera on the roof. Is that confirmed? I didn't hear that. Is that what it was? It was the door camera on the roof? One of the door cameras that were ripped, excuse me. It's been a long live. Ripped off? Yes, confirmed. Okay. But anyhow, yeah, there's something down there that they're concerned of. It could be nothing or something. It could be something or nothing here. Crazy stuff. But anyhow, I lost my track here because I'm thinking about the camera. I do believe that letter, I believe with Nancy Grace, I'm with her 100%. I think that letter is getting closer. I think we're going to find out something. I think we're going to find something tonight or tomorrow morning. I really do. All right, I'm going to listen in a little bit more, and then I think we're going to.
People 80 years or older. This is a completely bizarre case. Is it for profit or is it for revenge? And that's going to be the big question.
I think those are two likely motives at the end of the day. Greg Jarrett, let's get your take. And also with new surveillance abilities, crime-fighting abilities that have been developed by the FBI.
Beautiful home.
Law enforcement.
Oh, beautiful home.
I've got to believe that technology at the end of the day is going to step up and save this.
Oh, I agree. As I said last night, the digital footprint is something everybody leaves behind. It's just a matter of penetrating it. So, assuming this new message is indeed from the suspected kidnapper, it appears to be a response to the family's plea.
Yeah,
their
$1 million home.
Publicly succeeded in triggering some kind of a response, which is what was intended. Because it's important.
Shannon, thank you so much. I appreciate your
however one-sided or tenuous to whomever.
Great work. Thank you. Thank you,
Guthrie.
Shannon.
And whoever did this may feel some pressure to provide proof of life, though they're not doing that in the
Hey, shout out to
conventional sense, but
Jerry
they've
Hill.
done so
Thank
by
you, Jerry
offering
Hill.
additional
Dale, thank you
details
so much,
that only
Dale.
the family would recognize. But the fact that it did not contain a new deadline or a different deadline or an overt threat, that's the kind of encouraging news that may buy law enforcement additional time to find her or negotiate her safe return. Hopefully, she is being cared for over the past 6 days. And I think it's notable that this third message came from a different IP address, but on the same secure server. Yes, you can disguise your identity.
Yeah, I think we're getting closer. These people are going to get caught. These, and I think there's more than one. I agree with Nancy on that too. Got to be at least 2 people. Yes or no? 1 or 2? Or let's put it this way: 1 or more. Is it just lone wolf? 1 person? Could it just be 1 person? What's your thoughts on that while we get up to date here? I had to pause it a few times. About 3. Philip says 3. Philip says about 3. I'll tell you why I agree with Philip. More than 1, yeah. Yeah, plus 1. Because of this. 1 person had to be driving the vehicle, and then 1 person to go in and another person to assist, tie her up. Let's be honest, right? I don't think she was, I got to be very careful here with YouTube here. I don't think she was, I don't think she was stabbed. She might have been dragged out of bed. She might have been slapped. And then another person, tied up. And then they had to very quickly, the cameras. Somebody was very good with those cameras, Mike. Thank you. Yes, we have those low members. Hey, guys, thank you so much real quick. And shout out to our moderators working very hard here. And yes, we do have the memberships that help out on here. We're fortunate. We're able to forward the money to the homeless population here in Las Vegas. And it also helps us to stay motivated, our moderators and everybody else who supports this channel to continue covering these ongoing sad situations, and hope that she'll be found. But I still think there's at least 3. So I agree with Philip. 2 to 3, at least 2. So I agree again with Nancy. And I also believe that this is going to come to a conclusion. And I hate to say this, either 2 ways. 1 is, unfortunately, she'll be found unalive. I don't think you're going to, or 2, they're going to give up. I don't think any money is going to be given out. I can be wrong. They're going to give up, and they're going to let her, hey, here she is. You'll get 1 last note, if a note. Maybe the FBI will just lead into it. See, I don't know if you're going to get another note, because I think the more notes, more ransom notes, more communication between the bad guys and the authorities, then the greater chance they're going to get caught. So 1 or 2 things. But I feel confident. I feel that somehow or another, they're going to be captured. I really do. I trust the authorities, and President Trump has sent in the troops, meaning he's okayed, I forget how many federal agents to this, but they have over 100, I believe it's over 100 detectives working around the clock. And also I would add to this, if something bad would have happened and she was unalive, I think it would have happened on day 2 or day 3. This is day, correct me if I'm wrong, folks. Please correct me. 6 days, 5 days, 6 days. I think it's 6 days. So 5 days, at least 5. So this is bizarre. You can't help to think it could be your mom, your grandmom, your aunt, your stepmom. 6 days. Thank you. 6 days. So, I'm going to say she's alive. I am. I'm going to say she's alive. I think she's alive, Paul. I think she's probably not going to be in the best shape. She's probably, of course, have to be at the hospital, but I think she's alive. And let's pray and hope that these bad guys, I tell you, we're a small YouTube channel. There's big, large YouTube channels, but who knows if the bad guys are listening in. It's not too late. It's not too late. Do the right thing. You're a better person. You made a mistake. You're probably gonna, suffer the consequences. But I will say this: it'll be a lot better than spending the life in prison, or even worse. So do the most intelligent thing and turn this beautiful woman to the authorities. Do the right thing. All right. I tell you what. I think Fox has a little bit more, and I'm getting a little hungry. So let me just see where we got from on Fox here. Whoops, sorry guys. You don't want to see
Patel
me.
and U.S. Attorney for D.C. Janine Pirro announced the capture of one of the alleged leaders of the 2012 Benghazi attack.
Sorry guys, they went on to another topic. I know a lot of you want to hear about that, but I want to stick to the one topic. I don't want to get off topic.
They lied to the American people, labeling this attack as a simple protest that got out of
It's funny because I
hand.
wanted to talk about this earlier.
And Secretary of State Hillary Clinton didn't seem to understand why this was such a big deal.
All right, I don't want to get involved. I don't want to get off topic on
We
that.
were misled that there were supposedly protests and then something sprang out of that, an assault sprang out of that. And that was easy.
All right, it might be time, guys. Hold on. I don't want to mix the two together
Goes
right
to
now.
junk and
He did succeed in that.
not yet. No, that's his.
Let's see what we got here real quick. Hold on, guys. Let me just see if we got one last. Okay, I guess we don't. All right, so
visible healing of the intestinal lining, serious allergic reactions.
okay, yeah. All right. I tell you what we'll do. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna get into some comments here that I haven't read. I'm gonna try to get caught up. Once again, thank you for liking the live stream. 140 likes. Appreciate that. Once again, shout out to the moderators to make this possible. Everybody from Janine to Mike and Isabel and Crystal and Maribel. And did I miss any moderators? I think I got, Richard. Shout out to Richard. Sorry, Richard, for also helping out and moderate these live streams tonight. Shout out and say hello to Dale. Welcome in, Dale. And if you're coming in, I don't want to mix the two up. A lot of you know we talk a whole lot what's going on in the world of politics. I didn't want to mix the two up. I promised my wife I would not do that. I almost did. I will be covering the ongoing situation with Hillary and Bill Clinton and Trump as they kind of all agree on something for a change. So I could say that on here on our next live. All right, so let's see here. Let me move on a little bit here. I want to say thank you, Texas Proud 76. Texas Proud's been on here since the beginning of the live stream. I've seen them comment, not sure, but he or she, so I'll just say they've been commenting for security reasons. Sometimes people don't want you to know. Also want to shout out to Jerry Hill. Jerry Hill, thank you so much, who's been a long time subscriber. Hey, we're at 43,000 plus subscribers. It's amazing. I want to thank Mike again for encouraging me to go live. It seems like it was yesterday and the time goes by. So thank you so much. Brian, thank you so much, Brian. Thank you. Thank you so much. And also for being here and those kind words, Brian. We appreciate Brian. So thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Cindy. Yeah, you see me outside and you know what, my cigar hanging in my mouth. But tonight, I actually just got home. Thank you. I'm rattling on, Cindy. Thank you. Got home and wanted to put this on and cover it. And I wasn't sure how much would get. So, hey, Steve Wayne, thank you, Steve. Thank you. Appreciate you. Bella, is it Bella Book Kitty? Bella Book Kitty says hello. Thank you, Richard. Appreciate it. Once again, Richard's our loyal subscriber and moderator who's been here from originally like first 100 subscribers, and I know Richard's saying that's okay, Sal. So thank you all. Oh, it's buffering. So thank you all for being here. And Dustin Nunez membership. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. I thought they were going to talk. Oh, wait a minute. I thought that they were going to cover a little bit more on this, but I guess, they're going to move on. They have their other news they need to cover, the world of politics and this, and that, whatever. So, I don't know how much more we know. So we know that they found this Ring doorbell on the roof. We know there's a white van. I feel we're getting closer, and that's where we're at. Let's see here. Judge Janine is coming on. Oh, is that right? Shout out to Colorado and Deborah. Hope all is well in Colorado. It's my pleasure. Jerry, work time. Yeah. Don't work too hard. You hear that all the time, but yeah. Yes, it's my pleasure to help out the homeless. Yes. And by the way, real quick, guys, I don't mention this enough, and my wife is going to get upset. And I got to mention it more. At the end of the day, we started this channel. Well, I started with other things, but we really put a dent into helping out the homeless on here. And we have plenty of short videos. It's something that you want to see in between this weekend, between now and the Super Bowl. We have a big Super Bowl. Plenty of short videos helping out the homeless. I could not do it alone without my family and all of everybody who's participated and helped in so many ways. One way to help is a like to this stream, even though we're not covering the homeless, but we have plenty of shorts each and every day, almost 7 days a week, 365 days a year. If I miss a day, I make up for it triple. We help out the homeless. And speaking elderly, there's an 82-year-old or 84-year-old woman. Her name is Sherry, who's out there. It touches my heart. Please don't feel bad. My mom is in a better place. Lost my mom, but reminds me there's so many like Sherry who's lost in many ways. No addiction. That doesn't make any difference because I help out anybody, addiction or no addiction, who's fighting each and every day. So anyhow, we help out the homeless when we can. So make sure you check out when you have some time a few of the homeless shorts that we have helping that homeless area in Las Vegas and New Jersey a few times and California. And soon to come, we're going to be pushing this channel to a whole nother level and doing little different things and reaching out to other states and working together with other streamers and involvement on the homeless. So I just want to throw that out there so I don't throw it out enough. So there you go. All right. So I tell you what, before we go off, because I got to eat, I'm just going to make sure there's nothing else on before we go off that we missed. I'm going to go back one more time to a news outlet here. We're going to go back to Headline News Fox. Let's see what they got. No, they're talking about. Okay, yeah, I think that's it, guys. I do. I think that's it. I think that's it for now. I tell you what, have all notifications on. Support your next YouTube live. If you enjoy them, hit the like and subscribe to them as well. And I tell you what, if I have a feeling we're going to be back on. I have a feeling we're going to be back on, but I think we have a feeling it's going to be good news. Okay? I really do. I think we're going to be back on sooner than later. I really do. I have this feeling. No, we're not one of those palm reading channels or anything like that. And I'm not knocking them. I just have this gut feeling based on what we've seen, what on that roof and everything, that we're going to come back on and have some good news. So if you're up and you feel like supporting this channel and coming back on, we appreciate it. If for some reason we don't, we'll stay tuned and cover this tomorrow morning. All right. So with that said, thank you once again, guys. Appreciate each and every one of you. God bless you. If I don't see you later on tonight, wait a minute, or tomorrow, enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl if that's your thing. No. Okay. And oh, wait a minute. Hold on. What is this? Hold on. This is a replay. Let me just see. If it's a replay, I'm not going to show it. Of course. News Nation. Hold on. Hold on, guys. You're welcome, Jason. Hold on. It's a replay. I don't want to show over replay. They're just showing the same a replay of the roof. Okay. And unless you guys wanted to chat among each other, I don't want to. It's just the same old replay. I'm just going to check Fox one more time. Yeah, so they're just showing the same stuff. So that's going to be it. That's it, guys. All right. So we'll see everybody on the next live. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you, Paul. Thank you so much.